Sup, Nerdmigos, and the Jive Talking Nerd John Norgrove. We've got Wife here. We're here for another review Jive. Today we are talking about the return of Unsolved Mysteries with the new Netflix episodes. I think there's, what, like 12 episodes?
12? Did we watch 12 episodes?
No, but I don't think they're all out yet. There's only like 6 or 7 out, but there's 12 scheduled to be out.
I think we watched maybe 5.
Yeah. Well, we watched all that's available on Netflix currently.
At the time that this video is coming out.
Yeah. A couple of things about Unsolved Mysteries. First of all, this is the 15th season of Unsolved Mysteries.
Something that I did not know until you looked it up. I remember watching it as a kid, but had no idea how long it ran for.
Yeah, there were, it started in 87 with a 7-episode special on NBC, then it ran on NBC all the way to basically 96, 2 seasons on CBS, 2 seasons on Lifetime, 175 episode season on Spike from 2008 to 2010, and then Netflix grabbed up season 15 for 12 episodes, which is pretty bananas.
Yeah, I had no idea.
I didn't know that it was running for that long.
That's a lot of episodes.
That is. So, and a little bit more unsolved mystery information. So I looked it up. This is according to the New York Times article that I read. More than 260 cases have actually been solved by the show existing.
How cool is that,
So that's
guys?
approximately 34% of mysteries on the show get solved simply by, like, tips from viewers or people finding out that their families were reaching out for them and they didn't even know or anything like that. It's actually a pretty interesting NY Times article.
Oh, I'll have to read that.
So the Netflix version, the one that we watched, they're calling it a refresher of the series. And it's executive produced by Stranger Things Sean Levy. Is the one who's executive producing this.
Did not know that.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Along with Cosgrove Muir, which is production. So Muir Cosgrove and Muir are the showrunners, and Levy and Josh Berry are the executive producers. That's right. And Robert Wise is a co-producer. So this is, if you don't know what Unsolved Mysteries is, get your life together. It's been around since 87. It's technically older than I am, guys. Get your shit together.
Oh, it is!
Yeah, because I was born in 88. So basically, it's just, they each episode explores some unsolved thing. Whether it's like mysterious, spoopy shit like lights in the skies, you know,
or like disappearances and
shit,
more some
or
true crime
people
kind of
disappearing, or, you know, like, oh, you know, my mom was loved by the community and they just, like, found her corpse in the hair salon. Like,
what
who
happened?
fucking knows?
Who did it?
You know,
yeah.
or whatever. So it's a little bit of everything with regard to the unsolved mystery part.
Yeah.
And it's done in the form of
It's done
documentary.
like little mini episode-long documentaries, which is different than how it was when I was a kid. I was a kid and watched it, like, the first, like, set of it on TV, and they had the host, and he would do an intro, and he'd introduce the cases. A lot of times he'd narrate.
Also,
and there
at
was
the beginning
usually
of episodes,
multiple things
they
per
always
episode.
mentioned if a previous one had been solved recently.
Yes. Yes, they did.
So we did know that some of them were solved, although I didn't know the total number until I looked it up. But so the Netflix version gets rid of the host, which, to be honest with you, is probably the worst part of the show.
It's honestly a little jarring not to have a host, because you're basically going in, and there is a short intro, and there is a short outro.
There's like a musical intro, like how, like any Netflix, like series has, you know, like how Stranger Things has its little, like, sting and title card, and end card. music, but to be completely honest with you,
through the episodes.
You don't know when an episode ends and the next one begins.
Unless you're like physically watching it.
More than well, we were gaming while we were watching it, but still, I mean, like we're in the room, we're watching it right there. But there were definitely a couple of times where like I got up to get a cup of water and walked back in, and it's like, well, that was the transition for the fucking episode.
Yeah, it's actually a really difficult show to binge watch, especially because like so not only the episodes are
the
like
first episode's 51 minutes long, and
so
the last
like
episode's 37 minutes long.
Kind of episodes, but in the original show they had a narrator who would take you through things, and instead of having that narrator and that host, what they're doing is they're putting that information as basically like subtitle type text at the bottom. So this would be a problem for people using subtitles, which we weren't using subtitles for it, but there's one episode that's entirely in French. Obviously you needed subtitles for that one. We both know French, but not that well.
Yeah, not enough. And the French episode was actually really cool.
The French episode was super interesting.
Yeah.
But I think that having a host would have made this even better, because it would have felt like each episode had like closure, and perhaps they did that on purpose to really just kind of like unsettle and like make you feel like a little jarred about it. But there was a couple of episodes where it ended and a new one began, and we didn't even actually notice that the new one began, and thought it was still a continuation of what we were hearing. This
removes
not
the value of it being a story.
Yeah.
I mean, like I understand what they're doing, right? Where you know it's a documentary. We've all seen them. You know, they're starting at the beginning and they're going through it, and they have voiceovers and interviews with people that were involved in it and descriptions and all this kind of stuff. But without a host, the show really seems unguided.
Yeah.
It seems a lot more sporadic. It doesn't have that narrator to, one, give it that story element. Like, these are real things that happen, but it needs to have that story element for the drive, for its motion.
Yeah.
But also, without the narrator, you don't have a build in, you don't have a build out. It's sort of like what did who is it? Key just recently redid an old show, like Twilight Zone or something. Wasn't it one of those
Outer
guys?
Limits.
Key or
Outer Limits. Yeah.
Right. Like, so he just redid.
I think it was Jordan Peele.
Oh, okay, it was Peele.
Yeah.
I don't know which one is which by the name. I'm sorry. Whatever. But like, that was good, and they had him do the narrator, and of course, like, is he as good as the original? No. But at least it still gave that intro, that build up, that you know, and he would step in, you know, in the middle, and it would end, and that's sort of the way you want those documentaries to work.
Yeah,
and this didn't even have a voiceover, which is what made it worse.
Yeah, well, having that helps to like build drama and helps to draw you into the story as well, but also helps to add consistency between episodes, because you're looking at something totally different each episode. And yes, we've only seen about 5 or 6 episodes. I don't exactly remember how many. I also was noticing that it was primarily true crime stuff that we were watching. There was only one UFO thing, and there was no like spoopy stuff.
Yeah.
And I do remember the older ones having a lot more UFO and sort of spoopy things happening that weren't necessarily true crime. And that's not to hate on these things that we saw, because these true crime things that they're showing, especially in the show, need to be solved. Right?
Yeah, they were interesting, but one, they weren't as interesting. And again, you know what? It's that without a narrator, it's like a police procedural without all the procedural.
Yeah.
Which is sort of the shit part, like, which removes the part that makes them interesting to enjoy. I mean, really, you know, like, you can't really judge a story, especially when it's like a story about what happened. You can't really judge those like that. But you can certainly judge the manner in which that story is presented to you. And because of the lack of a voiceover, a narrator, a host, something that grounds it in, you're watching this information, we want you to help solve it, sort of a thing. Honestly, I think it took a lot away from the show, and I think that these were interesting, you know, they chose interesting unsolved mysteries and whatnot, but for the most part, I honestly, like, it wasn't as good as the original.
I felt it was more unsolved and less mystery.
Well, and I mean, like, statistically, it was probably, you know, like, whatever. It had a lot more true crime than not. But, like, true crime, whatever. Like, I don't really care about that part very much. Like, whether it's aliens or true crime or ghosts, it's all the same, you know, people talking about some sad shit kind of a thing. But it's just the fact that they didn't have any sort of, like, narration or hosting, and it was just presented in this, like, really linear fashion. Honestly, it was presented in the way that a lot of Netflix docuseries are being presented right now.
Absolutely.
Which is, like, the lowest amount of production humanly possible.
Yeah, it's primarily
it makes
interviews
it cheap, in my mind.
And stuff like that.
It cheapens it because you don't have a host who acts as the through for the whole thing, and you don't have somebody to pose the questions that should be asked. To me, it shows, like, hey, we can interview these 5 people and throw some, like, B-roll shit in behind, and we can make an episode, as opposed to, like, writing a script and having a person who's involved in interviewing these people. I don't know. It just, to me, I think it cheapens the whole situation, the whole act. So, you know... It's good. It was interesting. Some of these stories were fun.
Gonna watch the rest
We're gonna watch more when the other 6 episodes come out.
Yeah. And all of the stories and cases were interesting. I'm gonna refrain from passing judgment on it because all these things are real and happen to real life people, and real life people.
Oh yeah, I'm not judging the stories. I'm judging
there's not any judgment
Netflix
on the story, on the mystery that needs to be solved.
That's what I'm judging.
But like, yeah, I mean, give it a watch. If nothing else, maybe you know something that could help some of these people receive closure.
Yeah. Or, you know what, maybe you can just form an opinion on it. Some of these was like, you know, some of them were presented in this very, like, mystery, we don't know, blah, 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 you know, and it's like, well...
We did enjoy during the episode speculating...
That sounds like some mob shit, so it was probably just mob shit.
Or it was definitely the boyfriend, you know, that kind of thing.
Holy shit. There is an episode where this lady dies, and it's like her son and her second husband, right? So not the son's dead. And the second husband...
No, I think it's the... Oh, no, that is the second husband.
The second husband.
I'm thinking of the other one.
And the second husband is just like, I didn't do it, it wasn't me. Everybody suspects that it's me. It was not me. But this nigga doth protested way the fuck too damn much.
Yeah.
He, like, and in like, weird... He's like, I couldn't have done it because I had to pick up my laundry from the fucking dry cleaner. Like, it was like, all right, guys, am I the only one watching this? Because I feel like we've all seen enough television to know this guy 1,000,000% did it. Yeah. And the son believes he did it. And there's like a bunch of, they gently hint at, like, oh, there was like some police recordy stuff, but like we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, who the fuck is directing this right now? Like, what the hell, you know?
Yeah. I found that the most interesting one to me was the one in France. And actually, I thought that was really neat that it was international. And they didn't do voiceovers for people who were speaking in French.
Oh, yeah. They just had subtitles at the bottom of the screen. You can either read or fuck off, which is, honest to God, the right way to do it. I'm sorry. I fucking hate dubbing. Read is not that hard, dude. I watch a lot of shit in the foreign language. Yeah. It's not that fucking hard.
And for taking French classes in high school, which was like a million years ago. We used to like write French on like stone tablets and stuff. I was able to pick up French. Probably about a quarter of what it was they were saying without needing the subtitles,
that one was,
which I thought was cool.
That one
but
was
that one
super
was
mysterious.
Super mysterious, crazy wild, could have been a movie.
Yeah.
And in a time where there's a lot of bad things happening in the world, watching this, which is basically a story about bad things happening, or several stories about bad things happening to people, I was okay with it.
Or at least mysterious things happening to people. I mean, it's not overtly graphic, and it's not... You know, they're not hamming it. They're not hamming it up.
It's not meant to bum you out. It's meant to be educational. In the way that they're stating...
It's a newspaper article, right? In television form. I think the only difference is that, you know, I think the curation's there, and I think the people that they're interviewing and the manner in which they're doing that part is there, but with a lack of host, the episodes are all disparate stories. They have no connection. And I'm not saying that like all mysteries have connection, but the connection, the through line for, you know, honestly, the last 14 seasons of this shit since 1987 has been this host asking for information, and you know, white text on a black screen is some cheap ass YouTube shit. Like, not to put down YouTubers, that's what we're doing. But at the same time, like, they could have tried harder. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So have you guys seen it? We definitely recommend it. We're going to continue watching the episodes.
Yeah.
Probably as they come out. That seems to be the way that the show wants to
I don't know if they were coming one at a time, because all six dumped on July. So we're probably going to get the next 6 in, you know, whenever
Netflix releases those. Did you watch it? What did you think was the most interesting
What's your favorite
story?
mystery? My favorite mystery is the second husband definitely fucking did it, because he definitely fucking did it. Definitely did it.
Mine was the French one.
The French one was good. The alien one was.
Oh, the alien one was funny. Oh,
it was fun. I don't know. It was. That one was weird. The one episode that like affected me the most was the black kid episode.
Yeah, that one
was really heavy, and honest to God, like that was one of the ones where I felt the most. It felt less like we don't have enough evidence to convict, and more like we literally have no fucking clue what happened, and just listening to these friends who are like all of his friends, these white boys that were just like we like. We didn't have race shit. Like, were there people arguing? Yeah. It was couples that were having emotional disputes over there. Like, that one was fucking hard to listen to, and hard to listen to his mom talk, and shit like that. But, it was incredibly interesting, and honestly, I can't wait for there to be more. Yeah. I loved this show back in the day, you know, so I'm glad to see it come back. I love all that kind of older sort of shit like that. Yeah. Just get a fucking host. Get one of the people from Stranger Things to host. What else are they fucking doing?
Or someone else.
You know? It's the director, so he's like, you can just call him up.
Yeah, you can just call him up.
Get the crazy mom with the light bulbs.
No, it should be the cop guy.
No, he's too busy.
And Winona Ryder isn't?
Yeah. Yes. What the fuck is Winona Ryder doing? She should be hosting this damn show. This dude's he's in Marvel, he's Hellboy,
That's true.
Yeah, that motherfucker's busy. Give him a break. He needs to keep up whatever physique that is. Dad.
I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan should be the host.
I mean, I'm okay with that.
That would be my ideal. Yeah.
But yeah, either way, I've been John Norcrow. This has been Wife. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, share, subscribe, do all that kind of bullshit. Mm-hmm. This has been Review Jive. We watched the newest season, the first half of the newest season of Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix in 2020. And,
we'll catch you next time.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys on the fucking flip side. Peace.